Ai de capul meu.
Germany continues to deal with the aftermath in the storm. The extent of the damage is becoming increasingly clear. In addition to the immediate damage, long-term environmental, the economic impact of the extent, the agriculture sector, already vulnerable due to previous unpredictable weather conditions, is facing potentially devastating losers. The agriculture sector, already vulnerable due to previous unpredictable weather conditions, is facing potentially devastating losers. Initial reports from the farmers indicate the crops such as wheat can be barley severely damaged by the floods and winds, especially in key agriculture regions such as Slowly, Saxony and Bavaria. The storm also caused damage on livestock farm where the animals will be evacuated due to rising water level. Agriculture associations were calling to government to provide emergency aid, warning the immediate action to not taken. The economic consequences could be severe. In the densely populated Rus region will be hit by significant flooding. Authorities are now forcing to restoration basic service, water treatment plants and temporarily overloaded due to heavy rain, leading concerns about the confirmation in some areas. While officials assure a public that the situation was under control, they urged residents to bathe the water and precautionary measures until the further notice. Environmental agencies are monitoring rising lakes and possible checked lakes to industrial facilities that were flooded during the storm. Concerns are growing the population could have a long-term impact on local ecosystem, including the fish wildlife population. One of the key challenges facing the authority is restoration of vital infrastructure. In some regions, brigades have had damage completely washed away by the flood waters, leaving isolated communities without easy access in neighbor towns. Engineers are working to assess the infrastructure integrity of this brigade, but it could take months to fully repair or replace them. Damage of roads, railroads and power lines is also highlighting Germany's urgent need to invest in a climate resilience infrastructure. Experts have long warned that much of the country infrastructure is not adapted to the extreme weather events and becoming more frequent as the global temperature rise. Germany's Green Plan, which has been a leading voice of the nation's stronger climate policy, to call immediate action. Party leaders noted the storm is another example of consequences of inaction of climate change. The storm has also intensified the public debate of Germany's energy transition. Engineers whether the aid of the country resilience of the fuel for renewable source and the wind is solar power. The US government makes significant progress in transition creates agriculture more need to be done to ensure that Germany's energy grid can be cope to extreme weather conditions. After the storm, some renewable emergency facilities such as wind turbines, the damage of high winds, raising questions about to make renewable energy infrastructure and more weather resistant. Germany is looking to the future, and this is a wake-up call not only the political but also the general public. Discussion about the climate change resilience are no longer abstract. The devastation surfer crisis down farms across the country is brought to issue the fight front of the national consequences. It's not the growing to issue to federal and state government strengthen disaster preparedness strategies and provide better protection to communities for the future storm, floods and heat waves. A powerful storm has swept through Germany, caused widespread destruction and significant damage in several regions. The storm, which brought heavy rain, strong winds and flooding, affected both urban and rural areas, facing authority to issue numerous warnings and close major transportation routes. The northern and central parts of the country were hardest hit, with wind speed reaching 113 km per hour in some areas. Coastal region forces storm surge were led to temporarily close to parts of the shipping zones. In major cities like Hamburg and Bremen, the storm caused delays and cancellation of of train and flights, while downed trees and damaged power lines left thousands of without electricity. Emergency service responded to hundreds of calls, cleared flooded basements, collapsing roofs and blocked roads. Firefighters worked throughout the clock to clear debris and rescue damaged buildings. Despite the chaos of fatalities, no were reported, although several people were injured by fallen branches and debris. In rural area, farmers reported significant damage to crops and livestock. Floodwaters swept through the agriculture fields, raising concerns about the impact of oncoming harvest season. Local authority in affected region is currently assessing the damage to preparing for possible financial assistance to support recovery efforts. The German Weather Service issued a severe weather warning ahead the storm, advised residents to avoid unnecessary travel to stay at home. Many schools were closed to safety reasons and a public event and cancelled. Meteorologists warn that extreme weather conditions in Germany are becoming more frequent in climate change and contributing an increasing in intensity of the storm and floods. This is not the first time Germany has had to deal with the extreme weather conditions, but the frequency and severity of such events rising constantly about the countries rated the further challenges. Authorities have urged citizens to take weather warnings seriously and ensure to their homes and advise protect to the storm and flooding. As the storm moves eastward, northward contact and also high alert to possible flooding the storm damage. The full extent of the damage in Germany is still by assessed, but recovery force in expected to the several days is not weeks.
Arrivare barche da questa parte, litoranea per andare sul Ciolo, anzi al Ciolo.
Environmental experts note the increasing in the frequency of the storm and the magnitude is likely to climate change and call more for discussing issue to reduce the risk assessment in the extreme weather events. In response, German politicians have called to accelerated action to climate change, and some have pushed to increasing investment in flood protection to the disaster preparedness. And the Green Party in particular related is called to major overload the country's infrastructure to better cope with such incidents. The storm also sparked discussion around the Germany's energy grid. Several power outage in key regions, highlighting the vulnerability of the country's energy infrastructure. While most of the outage were quickly repaired, emergency companies have been critiquing the slow restoration of the some rural areas where communities were left without power to more than 24 hours. Now that the storm subsided, attention to turning recovery and reconstruction efforts. Local authorities have begun to process assessing the most affected areas to location resources to recovery efforts. Some regions are expected to take several weeks and fully recover from the disaster. Meanwhile, the German federal government has announced that financial assistance will be provided to those affected, especially in agriculture and small businesses. The affected of the storm are being felt beyond the German border in neighboring countries such as Poland and Czech Republic prepared to similar conditions. Meteorologists agency across Europe has issued warning urging residents to the affected region prepare for the possible flooding and strong winds in the coming days. The storm serves stark reminder of increasing unpredictability of weather conditions in the Europe and the need to coordinate response of such extreme weather events. Meanwhile, Germany continued to keep the peace, strategically in the defense against the growing threat to post extreme weather in renewed sense of urgency.